So who is ready? Harshwardhan. Sanjivani, keep time.
Yes, sir. You can start, Harshwardhan.
Good morning, everyone. Today's topic of my lecture it is youth in politics. Youth has always been in politics, especially during the times of reform movements. Most of these young people are in the form of informal politics rather than formal politics. Like we have the examples during social movements and whenever pressure groups are formed. Even there are some formal student wings to support student politics. For example, the Akhil Bharatiya uh, Vidyarthi Parishad and Indian Youth Congress. If we talk about the importance of politics, of youth in politics, youth are usually enthusiastic and have fresh and innovative ideas comparatively to the older people. Even they tend to be more energetic and flexible and devote themselves towards the betterment of society. Even India is considered as one of the youngest democracies with 65% of its population below 35 years. But the percentage of young MPs is only 13% in the parliament, which is a drawback to the representativeness of the democracy. Even the policies which are affecting the youth can be framed by the young people by a better way rather than old people, because old politicians usually do not feel the contemporary problems faced by the young people. But there is also a huge negative side towards the involvement of youth in politics, because young people tend to have idealistic and unrealistic ideas, which may not be so successful in the implementation in the society as they lack experience. Uh, because we know that experience is one of the main thing that is required by any politician, because experience teaches us to take the right decision during the right time. Even young people can also be easily manipulated by older politicians, uh, and can be used as puppets. We have seen we have seen this problem many times during the violence and destruction of public properties by a few student groups. If we talk about some hindrances which youth face, like politics are not accessible to the
Certificate.
common young people, as most of the young politicians are from the political families, and even parents do not promote their children to take politics as their career option because of the strong feelings that have affected the people's mind. But lastly, concluding my topic, I would like to say India is a young democracy, and if we try to balance the uh, if we try to balance the enthusiasm of the young people and the experience of older politicians, we will be able to form a better policies which could devote the betterment of the society. Thank you.
Okay, youth in politics. Always this debate is never ending. Whether we should have younger people in any organization versus the experience part. So what Harshvardhan is now concluding, balance of it, experience mixed with young energy, enthusiasm, will have better output. Yes, it is true. Politics should be made more attractive. Today, only dynastic uh, approach we see, someone who is in politics, the next generation is generally seen inclined towards adopting it as a career. But fresh youth coming to politics, seeing it as an opportunity to serve society, seeing it as a career also, is not the scenario today. But when we get little matured as a democracy, probably things will improve. You see worldwide today, US, one of the strong democracy, has got one of the oldest premier. The president is, I think, 85, 86. So This is seen just few days back. Donald Trump was there. Before that, Obama was there. Obama was a bit younger. So this mix scenario is visible even in the other powerful democracies. In India, we had seen one of the youngest prime minister in terms of Rajiv Gandhi ji. We have old prime ministers in terms of Manmohan Singh, or today it is much more matured, seasoned prime minister who had three chief ministership tenures before coming to the center stage. So, what is more important is the experience also. Because if you are experienced, seasoned, you are ultimately directing and channelizing the policies. It is a huge country, it is not a small country. So, we need mix and match. We need experienced politicians coupled with the energetic, young, bubbling youth who are willing to learn, who are seen as a potential future leaders. So this approach now visible in our country, not that it is not there. We have a lot of young politicians in our country who are well qualified also, because experience, age, and the another factor which we must couple with that is education. Highly educated professionals should also come to politics. We have the platform or entry route through Rajya Sabha, but then why not to have regular people's representative in the Lok Sabha also, or even in state assemblies? So this will empower our country as a democratic setup. We need such people on top because they will have to get the work done through bureaucratic setup. Policy making, international relations is very important now. It has been important, but now with the so fast communication systems and dynamic nature of social media, we need people who are well qualified. One small aspect, you see how things evolve. Today we have external affairs minister who is from the IFS cadre. These are the changes we are witnessing. A person who had his entire life in field about the professional aspect of it, now leading and sitting in the highest chair in that particular segment. This is also a maturity aspect of our democracy. Not that only the IFS cadre will make better external affairs minister. That logic also doesn't hold true. We need people coming from outside also, because there is also a flip side of it. If someone has seen from the narrow prism, from just the one segment point of view, you have some drawbacks in that. But in between, if we get such personality, we will get benefit out of it, because these are the systems which have to be refined. Little bit evolution has to happen in that, reforms has to happen, and it has to last long also. So politics is very essential to discuss. We need debates in this segment. We need open approach, and then only we can be tomorrow's powerful nation. Okay, good Harshvardhan. Little low energy today. Uh, that lecture it got delivered on a slow pace. Maybe content wise, it was not appropriately prepared, or there was lack of confidence. So whatever it is, just review what was going on in your mind, and uh, learn from these practices कि ऐसा भी होता है. Because in SSB also you will be lost, you will be absent minded there because of pressure also, or suddenly you are switched off and you deliver a lecturate. Once that 3 minute is over, nothing can be done. Similarly in group discussion, similarly in psychological test, similarly in interview, it should not happen that, oh, I missed it, or I was not present there fully, or I was not concentrating the way I should have done it, or I could have done it. So these things are important to rethink. Okay, Sanjivani, ready?
Yes, sir.
Harsh, keep time.
Yes, sir, you may start.
Good morning to everyone. Today, my lecture topic is India Sri Lanka relation. The relation between India and Sri Lanka has historically been characterized by culture, economical, and political ties. Both countries are located in South Asia and have a shared cultural heritage due to their proximity and historical interaction. Cultural ties. India and Sri Lanka share deep cultural ties that date of back of thousands of years. India has played a significant role in Sri Lankan history, particularly during the Asian times. Influence when India influence shapes Sri Lanka cultural language and religions. Today, the cultural connection between the two countries between two countries continue to with their shared tradition, festival, and regional practices. So economically, India is one of the Sri Lanka largest trading partners. Bilateral trade between the two countries has been growing with India being a major exporter of petroleum products, automobiles, and pharmaceuticals. So also, Sri Lanka export textiles team. The two countries have also signed various trade agreement and initiative to enhance economical cooperation. In terms of political relation, India and Sri Lanka have their ups and downs. The issue of ethnical conflict and the civil war in Sri Lanka, especially the concern of the Tamil majority, have at time. However, India has consistently support the unity, stability, and tradition integrity of Sri Lanka, while also advocating for the right and welfare of the Tamil minority. In recent year, the relationship between India and Sri Lanka has witnesses renew engagement and cooperation. The two countries have face an enhancing connectivity, trade, and people to people exchange. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has visited Sri Lanka multiple times to strengthen tie and collaboration on various issues, including defense corporation, corporation, infrastructure development, and maritime security. Both countries have also collaborated on regional
Last 30
initiatives
seconds.
such as Indian Ocean, yeah, such as IORA, Indian Ocean RM Association. So, lastly, I want to conclude that overall, India and Sri Lanka share a multi forces relationship, cultural and economical and political aspect. Both countries continue to work toward dependently their cooperation and maintaining and mutually benefits of
Time
partnership.
out.
Thank you.
India Sri Lanka. We had ups and downs in relationships. Sri Lanka being in such a proximity, India cannot ignore, but we have just compulsion of having good relations. Similarly, Sri Lanka cannot ignore us. But then the China tried to come in between, did its strategic level uh, policy changes, little bit string of pearls mission, getting the smaller countries into her fold through economic slave policy. But then Sri Lankan politics is not matured. They have got their own problems. Historically, we also made some mistakes. The 1987 operations against LTT was probably not correct decision. We could have acted more maturely. Thereafter, the Tamil related issues or within India, the South India has to be understood well. Of course, of late things are much better now, but then the sentiments which are important to understand and then have policies because we already lost one prime minister who was promising leader of the future. So if such kind of experiences are there, we should be more learned in future. The Hambantota port episode taught us many things. Thereafter, Sri Lankan economic crisis and the role we could play was important. The fishermen issue between Sri Lanka and India is always a critical point where the disputes are there. Every now and then, the relationship is tested. A lot of issues can be resolved through diplomatic negotiations, forethought, and the people's welfare of both the countries who are affected at the borders, especially the fishermen, should be looked into. And there are some small frictions at Coast Guard level or naval level. So we can sort out these issues through proper negotiations. The way we are holding talks and giving priority at Ladakh to settle the tension or to neutralize the friction. Here, such efforts are not visible. We are taking it lightly because smaller country, but these are having lasting effects. We should not be ignoring it and should be having sincere attempt to resolve. Sanjivani, content was good, but then now it should come as a natural habit of talking. That should be your aim. Another 2 months, 3 months, 4 months target that you should be able to speak naturally. There are just few points as a reference point, and you are elaborating on it in a natural language. These are your milestones which should be set in your mind that after 4 months I need to be at this level, and it can happen. Believe me, if you set targets, if you work towards it, it will happen. Okay, Subodh.
Yes, sir.
Subodh, can you hear?
Sir, I will just listen today.
Okay, so both these speakers have finished. Anything else from your side which we can discuss, or else we will end up here? Harshwardhan has got forthcoming SSB.
Hello.
Yes, Subodh.
Sir, means when I started my GD regarding GK, sir, like general knowledge. So from means I got confused like many times that from where should I prepare for like geopolitical relations and all the things because today lot of things available, sir. But
Yes.
I'm getting confused, sir. Like I take out the notes and I jotted down on the books like geopolitical relations, all the things. But still, a lot of things coming on internet, sir. And just because of that, I'm getting confused over it, sir. So how to tackle it, sir?
Okay. General studies or general knowledge is a vast subject. Whether competitive exam is CDS or UPSC's other civil services or any good level exam, class 1, class 2. And the problem today is rightly projected by Subodh, the confusion. Information is abundant. We have overdose of information available. So what happens? You get confused. Right approach is make it simple in your mind first. Try and realize and assume that there may be abundant sources of information. You have to select few because you are not supercomputer. After all, you have to understand the topic first. That is your first requirement. And second is whatever data you can register in your mind, which can be produced whether it is written or in speaking. So this is a simple policy in your mind which you should be very clear. Then comes how to prepare. First, make some list of reference books, reference sites. See, you make a list, thereafter sift through it, select few better ones. Suppose I made a list. These are three books, and these are five, six, 10 sites, apps, whatever it is. Thereafter, I must understand how much time I am going to give. Then I must be very, very rational, practical to come to a point. Okay, I can finish these two books, so I will cut one more book. So out of that three, I have come down to two because third book will become wish list. If possible, it will be seen. Otherwise, I should not get tempted. So prioritizing those three, first, second, third. So first two are picked up as of now. In that also, which one is first, that should be very clear, or simultaneous, whatever way you want to prepare in those two books, because some of the chapters, some of the sections are good in one book, another is having a merit in some other segment. So that is your um, prioritizing. You may hear from someone that these chapters can be done from this book, these chapters can be done from other book. So whatever way you have got inputs, you prepare accordingly. Coming to the internet or the open sources, this is very challenging. You get emotional moment you see something, you get tempted to read. You should be very firm on your decision. Okay, this is my time, 1 hour I am studying on internet, open sources, these are my sites, and this is my target. Okay, this site, these are the list of items to read. You selected by sitting on um, that sites in the initial stages, or you heard from someone, read these things from this site, and you noted down, I have to finish these areas in this particular site. Similarly, 2 3 4 sites or apps, you must be very clear, then only you can finish syllabus. Otherwise there is no end. Suppose you are cleaning your house is big or it is messed up. At first look you will be little afraid, I will not be able to do it, but you start from one corner, it can be easily organized. Firstly, your plan is very important, and then execution. Similar approach is required here. Plan systematically, and you will be able to sort it out. The bigger part is when you are doing, suppose 15 days started, it is going well. Now you get tempted by listening to someone, or in between something is cropping up in your mind that I'm missing on this, that site is also good. Don't get tempted unless and until you are not able to take load of it or share time for it. You should be just forgetting it, ignoring it. Otherwise there are n number of things around you which can tell you similar syllabus, and because you see YouTube channels, you see so many sites, you see number of books, it is abundant. You pick up the best one, you stick to your timeline, you just ignore other things. That is the only policy you can adopt. Okay, so both.
Yes, sir.
I hope even Sanjivani, Harshwardhan understanding the complications, because everyone must be facing this challenge. We were lucky in our times for the competitive exams. We had no internet, so we had books only or reference material, magazines, papers. So it was limited. So that was advantage. Also, today you have got so much of over information, overdose of it. It becomes a problem. One thing is, yes, you have got a lot of information, but the second stage is you should be wise enough to select which is more appropriate. One more aspect, Subodh, you were saying geopolitics per se. It is fascinating to know uh, something more on hot topics, but just draw a line how much you are supposed to know. You are not supposed to know as a strategic thinker. Never forget you are a student. You are going to appear in written exam or in interview. So draw lines how much to dive into a subject. Suppose today Israel and Hamas friction is going on, or limited war is going on, Russia Ukraine war is going on. These topics, if you keep hearing daily some debates panels, there is no end to it. You must note down on your notebook, these are the essential points in this topic, but that's it. Any new development, just maybe for update of news, give 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, just fix it there. So geopolitics, today you are not the person who are supposed to give your views. Don't assume that you are expected to make policies or your views are going to get mattered. Just assume you are a student, you are trying to learn these subjects from the student's point of view, whose sole aim is written exam passing or interview passing. Just fix it that level, things will become much simpler. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so shall we call it a day? We'll end here. Bye. Jai Hind.